So tell me about like when you were older and you were in town and when the troop trains would come through.
Oh, yeah. The old man at the depot, who was our friend,
Uh huh.
would always tell us when a troop train was coming. So I married and I always made sure we were down because through town the train would go slow.
Uh huh.
Well, all these soldiers are hanging out the windows, hollering and whistling, and we're standing there waving away, just having a real good time. And yeah, that depot agent always told us because he'd always get, I don't know why, they were notified that these troop trains were coming through
Uh-huh.
for some reason. So he always knew, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, and then we always did errands for him anyway, get him something to eat and drink because he walked so poor. And so then he would tell us. So, well, then we'd go back down to the depot, sit there and wait for the train. And pretty soon we'd hear toot toot coming in
Uh-huh.
on the north end of New Prairie. And he'd say, "Girls, it's coming, coming." So, well, and we'd stand out there and we'd wave. And these guys, oh man, they had all the windows open, and I suppose they did that in every town they went through, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was funny. But if he told us whenever there was a troop train coming, we made sure we were down there. So,
So when the boys were drafted in town,
huh?
when the guys were drafted in town, it drafted almost everybody, right?
The boys were all gone, the girls were all crying.
Aww.
Yeah, boy, there were not that many young men around because they were all drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
how did that change? Did the girls then have to do the work that the boys were doing to
I
kind
don't
of
really
pick up the
think so.
slack? No.
I don't know because we lived in town and well, most of the boys weren't working anyway. They were all, you know, right out of high school.
Okay.
So, I suppose some of them were, but I don't remember it. Probably the only job they might find would be like at a gas station or something like that, because there weren't any businesses in town really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with just a couple of grocery stores and about 4 or 5 bars, and it was a produce on Main Street,
Mm-hmm.
where that one bank is down there, and a lot of women worked at that produce. They didn't pay much, but anyway, you had a job.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, then afterwards, the produce was there for quite a few years. The farmers would bring their eggs in and stuff. And, well, then there was the mill.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that probably was kind of a donation. I think was the mill donated to the city or what? Seems to me there was something going on between the city and the mill.
Mm-hmm.
So that was years later, but
And that was a flour mill, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and well, that was it.
Now, did you work at the Star Cafe
Yeah.
at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
you
I
were
did for a while.
okay.
Mhm.
So you were a waitress there?
And I worked at Minnesota Mining in St. Paul for
Yeah.
probably a year and a half or something like that.
Which is 3M, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then every time I come home weekends and stuff, Mary and always say, "Oh, why didn't you come back to town? Why didn't you come back to town? Oh, I'm all alone." So after a while, well, then I guess I begged and begged.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back and well, then we were together day and night, I guess, there for many years. So anyway, it was, I think, I don't know about when you kids were growing up, but it was more fun, I think, when we grew up, when we were in high school, because we'd pile 6, 8 kids in a car. Everybody put 10 cents or a quarter in, and we put a little gas in it
Mm-hmm.
and went someplace, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, now you wouldn't dare do that. The police would stop you right
Mhm.
away.
And what did you told me? You told me a story once of when you lived in town, and the boys would come to the window at night.
Oh, sometimes they did. Yeah. I remember one time my dad had the ladder out there. I don't know what he was doing on the roof. And so these guys stopped at our house after the dance, and they put the ladder up, you know, and so and my mother just had a fit. She was so mad because they made so much noise, she said, and the neighbors are gonna be talking about us.
Mm.
And well, these guys had fun doing it anyway. So they would peek in there, you know. Everybody had climbed the ladder. So that friend of mine that is still living now at Montgomery, well, we're friends about 77 years, I think. So when he was here with his wife, I said to him, "Well, Arvo, were you one of the guys that was climbing the ladder and looking in my bedroom window?" And I thought he's gonna die laughing. He started laughing. She said, "What?" And so I don't know.